It is Game Point, second hour of the show. We're here till 1 o'clock. Back on Sunday, 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. Don't forget, next Tuesday, we go to our early slot for a few weeks here in the summer, right after Melnick in the afternoon.
So that means I have to tone it down then?
You do, yes. TSN Matthew on Twitter.com. Our question today was, are you relieved or upset the Canadiens did not sign Vincent Lecavalier? And this coming in from E. Chiavote. Honestly, a bit of both. Would have liked it short term, but would have killed the Habs after 2 to 3 years. From Maniacs 1, very relieved that Lecavalier is not a Hab. We don't need Briere here. He just threw that in for good measure, I guess. From Bisha79, I'd give him 2 years max. Need to replace Ryder. Plus, he can QB the PP, but they also need to upgrade their D. Ferentz, anyone? So he's talking about, the last one is, of course, talking about Briere. But let us talk a little tennis here on the program. She is a contributor to TennisConnected.com. We have her here on the program every once in a while. You can also follow her on Twitter.com/LYRAPAPPIN. It is Lyra Pappin. Hey, Lyra, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Very well. Very well, thanks. Lyra, we were just mentioning you coming on, and so one of us, I guess, clicked on your profile, and there was a blurry picture of what looks like someone about to play tennis or playing tennis, and It almost looks like it's like a legendary picture from like the 60s, but you don't know where it is or what. So is that you? Is it not you? Is it someone that looks like you?
That is me. I don't know how blurry it comes up, really. I haven't even looked at it in forever. My sister took it. It was one of my first tournaments.
Looks like it's in the fog.
It was dark. Yeah, it was a night match. It was kind of, I had to adjust to a lot of challenging conditions. But nobody wants to hear about my tennis. You know what you guys want to hear about?
Yes. All right. So Wimbledon,
mixed
of course.
Doubles, Matt.
In
mixed doubles.
Yes.
I'm all ready to give you a mixed doubles update.
If you could, please. Yes.
Yeah, just make sure you try to find an internet stream around 11:30 tomorrow or something, and you'll be right into the third round.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is Martina Navratilova still playing mixed doubles?
She might as well be, but no, she's not.
Wasn't she playing like last year or the year before, something like that?
Yeah, when they have the Legends players and things in, I don't know, it gets confusing.
No, I think she was in.
No.
I think she was in the main draw. She was in the main draw of mixed doubles as recently as within the last 3 years.
Really?
I believe so.
I'll take your word on it.
We're gonna check that up right now in terms of whether or not Martina Navratilova was still active playing mixed doubles at Wimbledon within the last few years. But
I believe she was.
Yeah, thank you, Mo. See, why do we bother having Lyra on? I mean, we're just answering these questions right now. No. Let's talk about the main draw here, singles, doubles, of course. Lyra, let's start with the women's side of things. A bit of topsy-turvy results, I guess, now on the women's side, as we saw earlier on the men's side.
It's crazy. I mean, nobody was expecting Serena Williams to lose. It was actually kind of funny. The day before, they had some kind of poll or something up on the Wimbledon site or something, and people did actually choose Lisicki to be the person who'd be the biggest threat to Serena, but nobody really thought that was going to happen. No one saw that coming. It's quite possibly the biggest upset of the tournament. I mean, as shocking as it was to see Nadal go in the first and Federer in the second, like, Serena is just Serena Williams. She makes it look like nobody could ever beat her when she's winning. So it was really, really shocking. But total credit to Lisicki. I mean, she not only played a really smart game, a really physical game, but mentally she kept it together, and she, she's riding that wave now.
Actually, Lyra, with Wimbledon losing a lot of the superstars in their first week of the tournament, how much are tennis fans now banking for a Novak-Andy Murray final, which would be the most appealing matchup that would be left from both sides with the women's and men's draw right now?
Everyone's pretty hopeful that that's the final that will come out. I mean, as far as, pure tennis nerd fans go, I think everyone's pretty thrilled with like changes and upsets and all of that, and everyone's got their favorite player. In terms of broader audience, who do the networks want to see? Who do, and even just for the sake of the game, you want to see guys at the top of their level. So although upsets can be interesting and surprising and kind of, they're a definite switch of a storyline, the thing that's frustrating to me, especially on the men's side, is that these guys can pull off, one big upset. The guy who beat Nadal pulled out the next day, and then the guy who beat Federer lost in the next round. And that stuff is really predictable, and that's frustrating because it's not, an up-and-coming player who's finally having this breakthrough moment and putting wins together. It's kind of these streaky, hot and cold guys who seem to catch the top ones on their, off days, and then they can't actually see it through. So barring any kind of crazy upset on the Djokovic and Murray sides, very hopeful that, once we get to the final, we'll see some really high-quality tennis.
Chatting with Lyra Pappin of TennisConnected.com. We're talking some Wimbledon here on the program. Of the players left on either side of the draw, who's someone that you're looking forward to seeing their next match very very closely?
On the women's side, I think it's always kind of a bit of a train wreckish thrill, I guess, to see Marion Bartoli play. She was actually a runner-up at Wimbledon back in 2007. She lost to Venus Williams. She's, quite a character. She has a very unorthodox style in everything, in the way she plays. Her coach is her dad. He's not actually at Wimbledon this year, but they were sort of famous for having these fights that would occur during the matches. They'd be yelling back and forth at each other. So it's all this kind of crazy stuff, but I mean, at least it's something interesting. So she's a very tough player. She beat Sloane Stephens yesterday, and in a kind of interesting match too, where, she's up to her usual antics, kind of forced a bit of a rain delay. Anyway, she's playing the sort of, Cinderella type story. Kirsten Flipkins is her opponent, and she's someone who, she had to fight really hard to be there. She was out with an illness and ranked all the way in the 200s. So she's got quite a nice story, but I think Bartoli, she'll put on a show, and I think she's got what it takes to get to her second Wimbledon final.
Larry, looking at the Canadian content, of course, Milos Raonic once again. Are you concerned about him and maybe him plateauing? And, of course, the new sensation on the female side from the Canadian perspective with Bouchard. Martina Navratilova did state that she could have Grand Slam potential once she gets much more experience in the circuit here. What do you think right now with those two Canadian superstars on their career paths moving ahead?
Sorry, it cut out for the first part of your question. You're talking about Bouchard
and Milos Raonic. Do you think he's maybe plateaued with the way he's not been able to go deep in tournaments like he did initially?
Yeah, I think Bouchard right now has a lot more of the momentum, a lot more potential. She is a younger player. It's a little easier to forgive any kind of, shakes or anything that she might have. I think she'll continue to improve. She's got everything going for her. She's got a complete game. She's got, the height, the power. So it'll just sort of be, she looks like the next wave of the future. She's also good friends with Laura Robson, who's had these really great moments, so they could potentially be, sharing those experiences as well, and who knows, maybe they'll be great rivals going forward. As far as Raonic is concerned, definitely a little worried about where his game's at. He's someone, too, that in the past, he maybe cut breaks for, that he was, younger, and he still is. And last year he was coming back from an injury, but this year he should really be improving on the results he had last year, and instead he does seem a little lost out there. He's losing early. He's losing to opponents he, as according to rankings and in theory, he should be beating. He had a ton of sort of hype behind him, and not just in Canada, but in the U.S. as well. He's been touted as a big up-and-comer, so there's a lot of pressure on him, and I'm not sure if that's what's getting to him or if that's actually what's distracting him, where he maybe feels a little overconfident with this sort of, fame that he's got and attention that he's getting. But maybe this year, just with changing coaches and all that, he's, trying to sort some things out, and hardcourt season suits his game more, so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple months.
All right, give me your prediction for the single champ and on the women's side and the men's side.
I'm going Sabine Lisicki all the way on the women's side now. I think she's playing really well. She really wants it. She's, seems like a great person. She's just ready to go. On the men's side, I'm really hoping, for a really awesome 5-set match between Djokovic and Murray, and that one is a total coin toss to me. I think Djokovic has the edge, but it's Murray's hometown. He really wants it. It was such a heartbreaking loss last year be an incredible moment. So I hesitate to choose a winner on that side because I think they both deserve it.
Oh, that's a cop-out. Come on. That sucks.
Honestly, yeah. Okay, my head says Djokovic is going to win. Heart says Murray.
All right, fair enough. Lyra Pappin on Twitter.com, and you can also check out TennisConnected.com as well. Lyra, thank you so much for your time, as usual, and for staying awake. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. That's Lyra Pappin. It is 12:16 here on TSN 690. I was looking at the Wimbledon draw, and I thought it was a joke. Greg Rusedski is playing doubles. Did you know that?
LCC zone, Greg Rusedski.
No. It says Great Britain. Great Britain zone.
I believe he went to LCC for a bit.
Yeah. But did you know he was still active? I had no idea.
I had no idea either. By the way, Martina Navratilova
yes.
Last played competitively at Wimbledon in 2006, but what you're referring to, she won the mixed doubles with Leander Paes from my home country of India
right.
in 2003.
That's 2003?
Yeah.
That long ago?
Yeah.
Come on.
Looking at the Wikipedia page reverse, yeah.
Oh, Wikipedia must be correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. All right. Fair enough. It's Game Points here on TSN 690. Other side of the break, some guy named Mo Khan is going to talk some Montreal Alouettes. Stay tuned.
Love